Hello everyone, welcome back to my video. Today in this video we will talk about the unit 5 of commerce. Okay, so the unit 5 contains business stats and research methods. Okay, there are many topics. So today we will talk about measures of central tendency. Okay, so first let's see what is central tendency. Okay. The central tendency is a descriptive summary, okay, descriptive summary of a data set. Fine. Through the single value from the data sets, it reflects the center of the data distribution. Fine. So central tendency means this is the statistical measure that represents the single value of entire distribution. For example, if we say there are raw data like say the height of 10 boys, okay, say 10, 20, 30, 40. So what are these are condensed, these are condensed to a single data. So this is the central tendency. Okay, now we will see what are the objectives of central tendency. The first objective is comparison between the data. Okay, so as I've told you, this is an individual series like 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, now if we'll bring out the result, what is the mean for this? 10, 30, 90 and 13, that is 130 by 5. Okay, so what will be the mean? 26. Okay, so it helps in the comparison. So this is the mean, and from this mean, what is the variation in the individual data? Okay, so to condense, the second point is to condense data into a single data. See, this is the raw data. Okay, there are many data, and this whole data is condensed to form a single data. We can see here we have taken out the mean of all these series. So what they say, it condensed into a single data. Right? Now we will see the measures of central tendency. So now we will see the measures of central tendency. What are the measures of central tendency? Okay, so measures of central tendency provide information about the typical or the average value of the data set. Okay, and see what is the average value. See, central tendency has three roots. Okay, that is mean, median, and mode. Okay, so in mean, what we do is we just sum up, we just take out the average of the all the values of the data set. Okay, so central tendency provide us the average value. Fine. Mean, median, mode are the most commonly used measures of central tendency. As I have told you in the above, it is the unique that a data set has only one and only one mean. Okay, now the value of the mean is influenced by all the observations in the data set. Fine. Now we will see the measures of central tendency. what this figure says, we will understand this. Okay, see, here we can see that on the left side and on the right side both are equally distributed, right? So what we see is here the mean will be equal to median will be equal to mode, okay, because it is normally distributed. Fine, because both the sides are equally divided. Fine, here we can see that it is a right-tailed skewed. Okay, this figure shows a skewed distribution. Skewed means either it will be right-tailed or it will be or it will be left-tailed. Okay, when it is right-tailed, here we will see that mean is greater than median will be greater than mode. Okay, and when it will be negative slope, or we can say a left-tailed slope, here it will be mean will be less than median will be less than mode. Okay, we will see, I will discuss all these in the further lecture. So here the figure depicts this. Okay, now we will move next. Now see, these are the measures of central tendency. Okay, here we will just see a para, or we can say just in brief we will study what is mode, median and mean. Okay, so what is mode? Mode is the most frequent data point, means the highest frequency. See, for example, if I say 5 2 2 2 1 3 3 2 2, so what I say is 2 is repeated too many times. Okay, so what will be mode over here? 2, because the data which has more number of frequency will be represented as the mode. So here 2 is the mode. Fine. Median. What is median? As the name suggests, median is just dividing it into the two equal parts. Okay, so this is median. And have mean. Mean means average of everything. Just say average of 10 boys weight. Okay, so what will be the average? Sum of all the weight divided by the number of boys. Okay, fine. Now we will study in detail what is mean, mode and median. So first we will study arithmetic mean. Okay, so what is arithmetic mean? As I told you, arithmetic mean is the average. Okay, so what we will do is we just add up all the numbers and divide it by the sum of the numbers. I have explained you beforehand only. See, the mean of 6, 3, 8 and 5 is just add all these and divide by 4, because there are 4 observations. Fine. Now we'll see arithmetic mean, some characteristics we can say, or objectives. Okay, so arithmetic mean is commonly known as mean. Okay, we call it as mean. Fine. Mean means average. Fine. So it is the average of a group of numbers. Clear? Applicable for interval and the ratio data. So let's understand what is interval and the ratio data. There are 4 types of scales. Okay, the first one is nominal scale, ordinal scale, and interval scale and ratio scale. Right? So we will study. See, what is nominal scale? I'm just overviewing all these 4 terms. Okay, I have made another video of this 4 scales. Just go through. So nominal scale. The nominal scale means it is an open-ended, we can say open-ended questions or MCQ, like we used to do A or B, or we can say gender. Okay, like a gender, for example, it is male, female. So this is the nominal scale. Fine. So what is ordinal scale? Ordinal scale means, see, when we order some of the pizza, we have to give review. Okay, so what are the review when asked? Have you satisfied, fully satisfied, or unsatisfied, or neutral? So these are what? These are ordinal scales. Fine. Interval scale. Interval scale means, see, just there is some type of interval like 10, 20. Okay, when you go for an interview, there you have asked what are say some of the experience from first year to 7 year. What you have learned from all these years. So what I am saying is first to 7 year means this is an interval. Okay, so this is an interval scale. Ratio scale. Ratio scale. See, for example, how many hamburgers can you eat in a day? More than 2, more than 3, or more than 5. So these are what? These are the ratio. Okay, so how many hamburgers can you eat? I hope all the 4 scales are clear to you. Now let's move ahead. The next point is affected by each value in a data set, including extreme values. What is extreme values? Extreme values means, we can say a minimum value, or the other is maximum value. Means with these 2 values, the average is affected. Okay. And the last point says that computed by summing all the values in a data set and dividing the sum by the number of values in the data set. Means, say for example, I take a series, say an individual series. Okay, individual series, say 10, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what this point is saying that we are just adding up all the 5 items and dividing it by the 5. We can say like 10 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 divided by 5. Okay. Now we'll move to the next topic, that is data. So data is divided into 2 parts, that is group data and the ungrouped data. Okay, group data is further divided into discrete series and the continuous series. Okay, now we will see what is group data and what is ungrouped data. Fine. Group data are the data formed by the aggregate individual observations of the variable. Okay, and here we see that frequency distributions are distributed. Okay, but in ungrouped data, no frequency distribution is distributed. The frequency distribution is not formed there. Okay. So this was all about. Now we'll move towards the discrete series. Okay. So discrete series. Discrete series, there are 3 methods. That is, one is direct method. Okay, there are 3 methods. The one is direct method. Second one is assumed method, or we can say shortcut method. Okay, and the third one is step deviation method. These are are the three methods from which we can calculate the mean. Okay, so for discrete series, all these three are there. For the continuous series, direct method and step deviation are there. Okay, now we'll see one by one what is discrete series and how it is calculated, what is direct method, what is assumed method, and what is step deviation method. Fine. My computer is working too late, so sorry for that. See, so this is the arithmetic mean direct method. Okay, direct method, individual series, discrete series, and continuous series. How we calculate arithmetic mean? See, for individual series, like what are individual series? Like 10, 20, 30, 40. So these are individual series. So how we calculate it? Just sum of all these and divided by 1, 2, 3, 4. Fine. This is individual series. Discrete series. In discrete series, two things will be given, that is one the individual series and the other frequency. Okay, so what we do here is we'll just sum up the frequency into x, means this is x and this is frequency. So what we will do, sum of x. So we will multiply this divided by summation of f. So what will be the sum of f? Fine. Continuous series. Continuous series, here x means the mid value. Okay, like 10, 20, 20, 30. So for 10, 20 the frequency is 10, here 15. So what we will do is Fm. Okay, this is mid value. So 10, 20, 30 divided by 2. So what will be 15? So 15 is the mid value. We'll just calculate all the mid value of the class interval and we'll just multiply with the frequency and divide by the summation of frequency. Fine. This was the direct method. Now is the assumed method, or we can say shortcut method. Okay. So here in shortcut method, what we do is just remember the formula. There is no question has been asked in UGC NET till now, but I am just explaining you to make you more clear. Okay, so just remember the formula. The formula is A is what? Assumed mean. Okay, A is assumed mean. Fine. F is frequency, D is the deviation. Okay, just remember one thing, the deviations, the sum of deviations will always be 0 in the case of arithmetic mean. This is the one of the property of the arithmetic mean. Fine. Now we'll see step deviation method. Okay, step deviation method. This is the formula, assumed plus fd divided by n into I. Okay, so what is d here? So d is the series minus assumed when divided by I. I is the class size. Class size means 10, 20. So what is the class size here? 10. The difference between the lower limit and the upper limit is the class size. Fine. Just remember the formula. Okay. No questions has been asked till now, so don't worry for that. Now the continuous series. Continuous series means the series will be given on the interval like 10, 20, 20, 30, 30, 40. Okay, so this is the series. Here it will be given frequency like 5, 6, 8. So how we will calculate by direct method? Just summation of Fm. So what is M here? M is the mid value. So how we will calculate mid value? 10 plus 20 divided by 2. So what will 15? So we will calculate like this all the class intervals and we'll just multiply with this, and then finally we will sum and divided by sum of the frequency, means all these three, sum of the frequency. Fine, this is the direct method. Now step deviation method. Step deviation method, the formula is mean is equal to A plus, what is A here? A is the assumed mean. Fine. F frequency D dash means the series minus assumed divided by C. C is the common difference, or we can say I. Okay, I means class size. As I told you, 10, 20. So what is the class size of this? 10. Means the common difference between the upper limit and the lower limit. Right? So this was all about the mean. Now we will proceed towards the median. So median is called a positional value. Why positional value? Because see in this figure I can show you the median is the mid value. Okay, mid value means here it is divided into two parts, the first and the second part. So equally divided. Okay, that's why the median is known as positional value. Fine. So now we will see the median formula. See, odd number observations. When there is odd number observations means odd number, say for example 10, 2, 3. So this is odd number observations, only 3 observations. So 3 is an odd number. Okay, so there are 3 observations. So how we will calculate median over here? This is the formula, n plus 1 divided by 2 to a term. Okay, and when there is even number of observations means 10, 16, 18, 20. So there are 4 items. Okay, so 4 is an even number. So when there is 4 items, we will calculate by this formula. Right? Median. See, I have told you everything. Okay, this is the formula of continuous series. Okay, just remember the formula. N by 12th item, L lower limit, L1 is lower limit, CF is cumulative frequency, I is the class size, and F is the frequency. Fine. Now we'll see mode. What do you mean by mode? Mode means highest number of frequency. So for example, the series contains 2, 3, 4, 8, 10, 3, 16, 3, 19, 3, 4, 3. So what we see here is 3 occurs many times. Okay. So what is the mode for this series? 3. So what mode says that the highest number of frequency occurs will be the mode for that. Okay. The mode is defined as a score with the highest frequency. Okay. With the highest frequency. The most frequent score. It is called a nominal statistics. I have explained you what is nominal, ordinal. So it is a nominal statistics. Okay. In a group data, it is the midpoint of the class interval with the highest frequency. Means what? It says that this is the class interval. Okay, 40, 40, 50. This is class interval, say x. This is frequency 2, 8, 20, 16. So the number of frequency is highest in 30, 40 series. Okay, so this will be known as the mode. Okay, from here we will calculate the mode. So what is the formula for the continuous series? We will see further. Now we'll see characteristics of mode. So the characteristic is a nominal statistics. Okay, the most frequently occurring score. It cannot be obtained by the mathematical operations, because by a look only we can say the mode, number of frequency, the number or the item is mode. So it does not need any mathematical operations or any calculations. Okay, it debar all the calculations. Fine. So how to calculate a mode by in a continuous series? So this is the formula: L1 plus F1 minus F0 divided by 2F1 minus F0 minus F2 into I. Okay, so I have explained here what is F, I, F1. Okay, so let me explain you once again. See, 10, 20, 20, 30, 30, 40. Say this is 40 frequency, 20, 12. Okay, so this series contains the highest frequency, so the mode will point over here. Okay, now we'll see what is F1, what is F0. The lower limit L1 will be 20. Fine. What will be I? I will be the common difference. Okay. What will be F1? F1 will be this. This is F1, model class. Okay, F1. And what is F0? Preceding class. So this is F0 and this is F2. Fine. Clear? Now we'll see the relationship between mode, median and mean. I have explained you further, but let me explain here. See, here we see that this is normally distributed, means both the sides are equally divided, or we can say both the sides are symmetrical. Okay, symmetrical means equally divided, and here we'll see that mean is equal to median is equal to mode. Fine. Now what? Now think, if the graph is not normally distributed, either there will be two cases: either it will be positively skewed, okay, positively skewed, or negatively skewed. Two cases. So what is the characteristics of mode, median and mean in this skewed diagram? Okay, see, this is the figure of negatively skewed. Okay, this is negatively skewed, or we can say left-tailed skewed. Okay, so here we will see that mean will be less than median, will be less than mode. Clear? Here we see is right-tailed. Okay, here the mean will be greater than median, will be greater than mode. Fine? It is positively skewed, it is negatively skewed. So these are all the relationships between mean, mode and median. Okay. Now we'll see the empirical formula of mean, mode and median, which is usually asked in your exam. Okay. See, this is the empirical relationship between the mean, mode and median. What we see here is mean minus mode is equal to 3 mean minus median. We can sum up and we can say that mean is equal to what? 3 mean minus mode is equal to 3 mean minus median. Okay, so when we'll solve it, what we'll get? Mean minus mode is equal to 3 mean minus 3 median. Okay, so this mean will go this side, so what will be left? Mode is equal to 2 mean minus 3 median. Okay, this is the empirical formula. Mode is equal to 2 mean minus 3 median. Okay, this is the empirical formula and it has been asked 10 times in your UGC NET exams, and people used to do silly mistakes over this. So don't confuse with the options, just remember the formula and try to solve it, because sometimes in the exam the option is given this type also and this also. So just don't confuse it. Okay, so this was all about your central tendency, and hope I have made you clear. This was a revision of your central tendency. So we will be coming up with the next video with the next topic. So till then, bye bye, have a nice day and take care.